Greetings, YouTube. I'm still reading the Tome of Horrors, and there have been a number of entries up to I've read up till now, and I'm at the 400 page mark, so halfway through. And they've dealt with creatures that could be steeds because they're steed-like there's a six-legged horse in there. I can't remember what they call it. And they talk about training them, but these examples I'm thinking of, there's like two or three of them, are um, magical beasts or something like that. But they have intelligences like in the 4 to 5 range. But it talks about training them. Now, if it was a weird beast or an animal or just an exotic animal, because it's a fantasy world, so you can have things like green cats and things like that. You could have drakes that are related to wyverns and dragons, but they only have say have a 2 intelligence. So those things you train because they're animal intelligence. But if something's got an intelligence of 5, you don't train them. You negotiate with them. You talk to them. You cut a deal. You befriend. You have a contract. Now, I mean, I'm sure everyone who's watching this video, if you are into RPGs, you have either played yourself or know someone who has played. There may be their favorite type of character to play, a low intelligence barbarian or fighter type. All right. I knew someone that played a wonderfully entertaining sorcerer who had a really high charisma, but a low intelligence. And it was entertaining as all hell. Charming as the day is long, but dumb as a post. Um, and you don't train someone like this. You talk to them. You help them. You befriend them. So the idea that the game is framing this as in you're going to train someone with a 5 intelligence, a fully sapient being, to be your servant, stop that. That's just disquieting. That's really creepy and inappropriate in my book. And it just amazes me that someone thought it was okay. Now, if there had been one of them, I might have just passed that off because these monsters are being written by a number of different people. Sometimes they're frequently, sometimes they're taking monsters and creatures from previous editions of monster manuals, like the Monster Manual 2 or Fiend Folio from a first edition, and they're updating them to Pathfinder, which I'm all for. And you need more of a contemporary gaming view of that said monster. So I have no problem with that. So you're dealing with different authors, different worldviews, different power level structures. Just because one person says that something's a challenge rating 6 doesn't mean it's going to compare exactly to something else that's got a challenge rating 6. You know what I mean? So there's going to be there's some wiggle room in there, some variations. So I could chalk it up to one person decided that this was appropriate and the editors didn't catch it. But there's been 3 of them. And this had to have been edited by somebody, maybe more than one somebody. And they all signed off on the fact that they were willing to frame it as a sapient being trained as a beast of burden. Didn't anybody find that disturbing? Didn't that put the hackles in the back of their neck up a little? If I had hackles, I guess I don't have hackles anymore. But you get my point. It's disquieting. It's inappropriate. And I can't quite fathom how this was done more than once, and I'd be shocked if I don't encounter it again in the next 400 pages before I finish reading this book. Um, because we've all encountered weird steeds and, guardian beasts or what have you, or, animal companions or monstrous companions in games before, whether it's fantasy, science fiction, post-apocalyptic, spy stuff. It doesn't matter. There are all kinds of weird stuff out there. Pulp fiction, pulp hero, two-fisted kind of thing. So we've all encountered that. Um, but you don't frame it in training a sapient being. You just befriend them, or you cut a deal, or you negotiate something. but you treat them like the intelligent being they are. That is some lesser thing. It just really, to me, really smacks of like that colonial attitude towards exotic peoples, that, that the white man's burden kind of crap, which I find very disturbing. Um, so yeah, I wasn't thrilled to see that, and I'm sure that I will encounter it again, and I won't be thrilled to see it again. Um, so yeah, let's uh, let's talk about this. See if you agree with me. Do you think I'm off base? Do you think this is something that you would just hand wave and not worry about? Has it been something you've encountered in your games? Like someone has met some kind of, sapient animal that could be a steed. I know we have, particularly in Gamma World. Um, but I had a poster on the portrait on my wall of my Lord Takan, uh, Sir Lord Ranger Takan, which is his name. Um, and he had a cybernetically enhanced Pegasus, and we were bosom buddies. We did a lot of traveling together. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, let's talk about intelligence and steeds.